What's going on, guys? Today we are doing legs, and I'm going to be talking you through some of the things I think about as I'm setting up for my squat. And then later in the video, we're going to be talking about some of my goals for the next year as far as numbers I want to hit and stuff like that. So today, I just started off with warming up, did some stretching I didn't really film, repped out the bar, and then here you see me doing 135 for reps. So as I'm setting up for my squat, some of the things I think about is keeping my feet shoulder width apart, my back arched, my chest up, and I pick a spot in front of me, whether it's on a wall or on the ground, and I just keep my eyes focused on that. And what I'm doing when I unrack the bar is I take a deep breath, and I do what a lot of people call as staying tight. So I use my breath to kind of hold everything in and just make sure I'm flexing and squeezing and keeping my body as locked in as possible, I guess I would say. And as you'll notice here, I'm using knee sleeves. So this is something I just started using about maybe a year ago, and I think it's really helped me protect my knees and maybe push myself a little bit further doing some weights that I don't usually go to. So you may not be able to see here, but I do have on a belt. Normally I don't put on my knee sleeves till I get above 315, just because I don't want to rely on them too much. Something I notice when I don't use my knee sleeves is that it's significantly harder, so I just don't want to get to the point where I can't go without them ever, or they're doing, more bad for me than they are good. So here we did 355 for 5, and then the next set I went up to 365 for 4. So right now I'm just doing a simple 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In the next month or so, I'm probably going to transition back into a program I used to do called Squat Every Day. And it's just as simple as it sounds. You just squat every single day, doing different variations. So that could be front squat, back squat, pause squats, beltless squats, things along those lines. Squat Every Day for me might have been the best squat program I've ever ran. I think the first time I ran it, I went up like 40 pounds in my squat, which is tremendous for just a month-long program. And as long as you're nailing your form and you're taking care of your body, it's a great program for you. You just got to make sure you're getting enough sleep, enough to eat, and you're stretching out well enough, because it does take a toll on you squatting every day. And I think it's definitely not for the faint of heart, but if you can push through those tough days, you can see some great results. And here I'm doing 380 for 2. This last set, I decided to jump up quite a bit to 405. In hindsight, when I think about moving to the next set, I never want to make a jump bigger than my last one. So this probably wasn't smart. I was a little ego-driven here, and I kind of just wanted to get the 4 plates. It's not that I've never hit 405 before. The most I've ever done is 420. So it's not like I've never hit that number before. It was just I've never hit 405 as a single after a bunch of sets. So I really wanted to do that, and my ego kind of got in the way here. So we finished up here with some stiff-legged deadlifts. I stood on a box here just to get a little bit more of a stretch, but yeah, normally I don't do too many accessories. I need to start doing more just to get a little more accessory work, especially for my hamstrings, which I believe is my weakness on squat. But For a while I was doing 400-meter lunges, which I highly recommend. They're definitely a challenge, and I think that if you do them, if you just shoot for a goal, just do them like once a week, you can see great progress. Alright guys, that was the workout. Now I'm going to be talking you through some of my goals for this year, and this is going to be able to keep me accountable and kind of show you guys where my motivations are, and it's also going to help me be able to look back in a year from now and see how many of these I actually achieved. So my goals this year are basically just centered around growth. I just want to grow my mind, my body, and of course this channel. So let's just start with my mind. I want to do this by reading more. I want to start meditating, and I want to keep doing yoga. I think these are 3 great ways to do this. As far as reading goes, there's at least 4 books I know that I'm really excited to read. 2 of those being David Goggins' new book, which, if you know David Goggins, there's no explanation really. He's just insanely motivational. And then Jocko Willink's book. These guys are both former Navy SEALs, and they can teach you a lot about discipline and staying on track. And as Jocko always says, discipline equals freedom, and everyone wants freedom of their time, freedom of money, and so I think those are going to be a couple great reads. Right now I'm in the middle of a couple books, so hopefully, just to kind of set more of a concrete goal, I want to read at least, I'm just going to say 10 books this year, just to keep it kind of easy. And then, yeah, yoga. Obviously, I'm going to do a couple videos about my opinions on yoga and why I do yoga. Also, cold showers. I want to take more cold showers. One of the books I'm reading now is by Wim Hof. A guy who practices, I don't know, you could call it cold therapy, cold training, basically pushing past perceived limits is I think what the book's called. And it's just using the elements of nature just to expose your body, kind of puts you in a primitive state, and all that aside, there's many benefits to cold showers, and it's, at the end of the day, it just teaches discipline. So if you can take a cold shower early in the morning, you're on track to have a pretty good day. So the first one for body for me is just to gain mass. I think this is something that I've always struggled with, just because I think typically I'm a hard gainer, but nevertheless, it's definitely one of my top goals. I'm not in any rush, but I have gotten up to weighing about 180, 182 consistently. So if I could get up to the 185 range, just consistently weigh there, when I wake up, when I go to bed, I'd be pretty happy. Next, some more strength-based goals. I want to squat 450 by March. I think I planned the second week of March. Next, I want to squat 500 by sometime in May. This is a pretty big goal. I think I'm going to run squat every day, and then I might run program called Smolov. It's a Russian squat program I've ran in the past. But as long as I keep my training consistently, I think I should be able to hit that number, and that would be pretty big accomplishment for me. Also, I want to deadlift 500 by May. Deadlifting's always been my weakest lift, next to bench, just because I never trained it consistently. So as long as I'm on like a pretty basic beginner deadlift program right now, and if I stick to that, I should be able to hit it. But yeah, deadlifting 500 would be a very good accomplishment for me. Last on the list is I want to sauna more. For a while in October, I was sitting in the sauna for about 20 minutes every single day, and there's hundreds of benefits to sitting in the sauna, just exposing heat shock proteins. If you're interested in that, I would suggest looking at Dr. Rhonda Patrick. She has a couple of studies posted on her website about the benefits of sauna and how great it is for longevity. Lastly, I have just the goals for this channel. I only have a few goals for this, but one is just to post every week, be consistent in giving you guys content, and that way you have something to come back to. You know which day it's coming on, and you can look forward to that. And I think that'll help me with my next goal, which is to get to 200 subs. I think this is a pretty good goal to set. It's hard for me to say a number just because I can't, to a certain extent, control that. But as long as I keep pushing it, I think if everyone spreads the word, we can get there. That'll help me kind of upgrade the equipment I'm using and what we're working with, so that would be great too. So that wraps up the video. Thanks for watching. I appreciate the support on the last few videos, and little by little I'm getting better at this. Obviously talking in front of the cameras, it's just kind of weird, but the more and more we do this, the better and better it's going to get, and I think this could be really something. So thanks for watching. As always, like, comment, subscribe, share with everybody and yep, I'll catch you in the next video.